Well, I am now in Asuncion, Paraguay, a very different place from Panama. Phase 2 of my operation here in this particular trip for getting residency and citizenship in Paraguay, although it may not be citizenship in Paraguay may not be in the cards for me anymore. It might just be residency, which is fine. Talked about that a little bit on my blog, but on the Caleb Jones blog anyway. Kind of a whirlwind day, so I flew in late last night. I'm in my hotel room here now, and I flew in late last night, got here about 10:30, maybe 11. And the day prior was like, hey guys, I'll be ready for you guys, my attorneys here. I said, I'll be ready for maybe 10 o'clock. I wanted to get settled and, work out a little bit and catch up on my sleep. They're like, no, we need you at 8 a.m. first thing in the morning. We will come pick you up at your hotel. And I said, okay, I'll do it. So this morning I was up early. And by 8 a.m. we were in the car. They were driving me around. Very, very friendly people. People in Paraguay are really friendly. I mean, they honk at each other on the road a lot because they're Hispanic. And that's just how that works here in South America. But they're just really friendly, very low-key Hispanics, very different low-key Hispanics, Latins, what do you want to call them? It's hard to call them Hispanics down here because their skin is very light. They're so close to Argentina. So I'll say low-key Latin people. These are probably the lowest-key Latin people I've ever seen in my travels. They speak slowly, they move a little slowly, they speak, they're just more relaxed here because it's Paraguay, it's out in the middle of nowhere. So anyway, let's see, what did we do today? So this morning, the very first thing we did went to Interpol. They have a local Interpol office here, and they have to, for some reason in Paraguay, they didn't have to do this in Panama, they wanted to verify I didn't have a criminal record at Interpol. So we were there about a half an hour, maybe a little longer than half an hour. We would have been there longer, but my attorneys bribed all the proper people, which is how it works. And it's interesting that a lot of Americans and Westerners don't realize how often bribes are required for this kind of thing, and how often bribes are a normal part of the business world in most other parts of the world outside of the West. So it's just a normal everyday thing here. So we were there for about a half an hour, signed some paperwork. I gave them a copy of the documents I brought with me. I gave them, let's see, what did I give them? My power of attorney that was apostilled, and my FBI criminal background check. They didn't need my power of attorney, so I just threw it away. Okay, great. I'll travel all over the world with that, but that's okay. Cool, no problem. Let's see. So then we went to 2 different police stations. So in Paraguay, they have to confirm you don't have a police record in Paraguay. So even though this is the second time I've been here, I have to confirm that I have to confirm in writing that there is no police record of me in Paraguay. Okay, which is fine. So went to one police station, filed some forms, got to sign some stuff. Went to a second police station, filed some forms, signed some stuff. And this is Paraguay. This is not the first world. We're in the second world here, and this is actually a lower end second world country. It's actually, I would call this country actually below Mexico. Mexico's probably on the high end of the second world. Paraguay's about, a little below that, 2 or 3 notches below that. So things like, we need to make copies of your passport. So we need to drive to another location to make copies. Well, doesn't the police station have a copy machine? No. In the United States, many of you probably have those little cheapy little bubble jet printers or inkjet printers that are also scanners for like $40 that have a copy machine function on the top. So many people's homes in the United States have the ability to copy forms, but not in Paraguay. So either they don't have the ability to make Xerox copies in most offices, or they have the Xerox machine, but it is broken. So we had to do a lot of driving around just to make copies. And again, that's something you have to expect when you're in the second world. I wasn't upset. I expect these kinds of problems when I come to a place like Paraguay. So there was a lot of that. So we had to run around to, one location just to make copies of my passport. And they had to be notarized copies too. That's the other part of it. So not just copies, but they had to be notarized copies to make sure that what they're actually copying is what they're really copying. Some verification on that. Let's see. So that was it today. Pretty much. For that stuff. Now tomorrow's when it gets interesting because that's when we go to the bank. And as usual, that's when it gets tricky because I didn't know this. This was a miscommunication between me and my attorneys. I thought I needed maybe $1,500, $2,000, kind of like Panama. They needed $1,500. The bank here is the National Bank of Paraguay. It's actually the government-owned bank. It's the central bank. They want somewhere around $4,700. So that means I'm going to have to get creative with the bank just like I did in Panama. Hopefully they can open the account and just have an account number that's empty. And when I get back into the US next week, I can do a wire transfer and transfer the money that way. And again, I'm not spending this money. It's just moving. I'm just moving it from one savings account to another savings account. So I'm not spending the money. I'm just transferring it. and later I can withdraw the money if I want. It's not a big deal. It's still my money. It's just in an account in a Paraguayan bank, which is fine. Irrelevant of the interest I'm getting or not getting, I really don't care. So that'll be tomorrow, and then assuming everything at the bank goes well, then we go to immigration, and I do the exact same thing I do here that I did in Panama, is that I register my passport, and that gets it prepared for the application for residency, okay? And so, but that's only if the bank works. They were very clear. They said if the bank doesn't work, if we can't set up a bank account, you'll have to come back here and or figure out some other way of, because I'm leaving, let's see, I'm leaving early next week, and I won't have enough time. If I don't have enough time to figure this out by next Tuesday, then we won't be able to go to immigration, and I'll have to come back and do that then, which is fine. I plan on visiting here several times, actually a lot, over the next few years. Perfectly fine. So we'll find out, we'll see what happens. Banking is complicated when you're outside of the USA, when you're outside of the Western world. Keep you updated. Have fun.